You killed these people. You murdered your family. No, I didn't. Why, I did not kill my family. Yes, you did. You and I are looking at 58-year-old Donald Hartung. My partner and I believe he massacred his whole family for reasons darker than we first thought. So, something snapped when you were over there that Tuesday night. And you killed him? I would never kill my mother or my own brother. You couldn't stomach the thought of looking at them after you did it. So, you covered their bodies with all that stuff. Now, the real question we have is why kill them? You're really going to sit in my interrogation room and say 3 people are dead. You were the last guy to see them alive. And I just told you your mom was shot and dragged to her bedroom, yet you sit here showing zero emotion. I have emotion. Sir, on July 31st, 2015, our squad was dispatched to a home in Pensacola, Florida, for a welfare check. A guy hadn't shown up to work in days. When we breached the house, we found 3 family members dead inside. They were all hidden out of sight under piles of clothing. Donald told us he last saw them days ago, swearing he had zero involvement. But as you and I trace his timeline together, his story just doesn't add up. Now, sitting across from him in that room, we started pressing Donald hard. But what we didn't realize yet, something far more twisted was lurking just beneath the surface of this case. I assume you know why we brought you down here to discuss your mom and brothers. All right. Like I told you out at the crime scene, they are deceased. Okay, but before we get into all that, I need to read you your rights. We don't know the whole story yet, and I want these on your mind while we talk. All right? Just keep them in mind. Okay, now, what's your relationship like with John and Richard? You guys have a solid relationship, yeah. We have a great relationship. I mean, do you do things together? You get along fine. Well, we don't really hang out much. We all just work all the time. Right. Okay, so you guys ate fried chicken, green beans, corn, biscuit, and French fries. That is correct. Sounds like a good meal. Well, I do all the cooking whenever I go over there. When it comes to cooking meals like that, I definitely know what I'm doing. I use all of my mom's old recipes. She wrote every single one out for me. Got them all handwritten sitting at my house. That is exactly where I learned to cook from Mama. Gotcha. What time do you think you usually leave? I usually watch the news with Mama, then head out. The 5 o'clock news. 5:30. 6. Which one? Well, normally we just watch the national news at 5:30. At 5:30, and then I head out right after. That's about when I left. I would say somewhere between 5:30 and 6 o'clock. Right around there. Okay. Where did you go next, home? All right. What did you do on Wednesday? Wednesday, nothing. I never do anything. Just sat right there at my house. Hung out with my dog. Then got up and went to work. What time is your shift? 3 to 11. Oh, so you work the evening shift? Yes. Sir, I do. And you worked that evening shift on Wednesday? Yes, I did. Talked to your family that day? No, I didn't. Why is that? Well, I don't really talk to them that much. I just didn't call. I might dial Mama up every once in a while. Though, let me ask you something. In a given week, how often do you speak to your mom or brother? Usually, I might talk to her on the phone maybe once a week. Then I head over. They know I always come over on Tuesdays. Okay, are you off work? Every Tuesday I am off Mondays and Tuesdays. Mondays and Tuesdays. The rest of the week is 3 to 11. Have you tried calling your brother or anyone else since Tuesday? Did you call anyone at all? No, I haven't. I mean, I didn't try calling my brother. The only call I really made was, I think I called the bank. Right. And you never tried calling your mom either? Okay. Actually, I did. He asked me to call her today when he got over there. He claimed he called her when the guy arrived. I had to ask who. He replied that it was the sheriff's deputy. We told him we understood, noting he was asked to call and see if she would pick up the phone. He claimed the deputy woke him up. We noted that down. He said nobody answered. We leaned in and asked, wasn't that weird? He nodded, said his mama always answered the phone, that she was always home. We asked if she got around well. He claimed she'd fall on you if you weren't careful with her. We pressed further. Did she use a walker or anything? He denied it, but repeated that every once in a while, she'd lose her balance and just fall. We asked what time Richard got home that night. He swore he had no idea when Richard arrived. We questioned him about Richard's car. He deflected, listing his mom's RAV4 and Art's Highlander instead. We confirmed the white one. Then we asked about guns. He admitted he'd owned quite a few, but claimed he didn't have any right now. We feigned surprise. No, sir, he insisted. We asked when he last owned one. He guessed about 2 years ago. We asked what kind. He described a Smith & Wesson .40 caliber semi-automatic pistol. We asked where it went. He claimed he pawned or sold it. We acted intrigued. He boasted that he sold all his guns, including a .44 Magnum. He even mentioned a Henry rifle. We just listened, nodding. Let's break this down together. My partner and I started the interrogation with seemingly irrelevant questions. It's our strategy to gather maximum intel early before hitting Donald with confrontational questions that might make him shut down entirely, but that was about to change. Soon, he'd be screaming for us to shut up. Imagine investigating even more cases with us. My partner and I created true crime channels in every niche, just for you to watch and enjoy. Honestly, who doesn't love watching a guilty suspect squirm in the hot seat? Watching them snap, spit on us, or fake tears. Jesus. We offer everything from raw, no commentary footage to full interrogation breakdowns for you guys. But that's not all. My partner and I genuinely love building this community. So, join our exclusive Patreon community. You get first-hand access to every uncensored interrogation tape we post. And trust us, some crime scenes are truly horrifying. Back in the room, he swore to us he didn't know anybody his family knew. He claimed it could be anyone. We asked if they had problems with anybody. We asked if John or RT had enemies. He mumbled that he didn't know of any. Then we turned it on him, was he having problems with them? He denied it completely. He insisted things were fine. So, I flat out asked if something went wrong Tuesday night, and he killed him. He said nothing happened. We asked, "Sure?" He nodded. I warned him that now was the time to come clean. He swore he wouldn't kill his mother and brothers. We just listened. He asked why he'd do that. I replied coldly that we didn't know him. He stammered, saying he understood, but promised us he'd never do something like that or harm his own family. I shifted gears, asking if he had a house key. He swore he didn't. We asked why not. He shrugged, saying they never gave him one because they didn't figure there was any need. We locked that in. Then we verified his last visit to the house was on Tuesday. He agreed, said it was always on Tuesday, that he went over there every single Tuesday. I leaned in. Why would someone go in, butcher his mom and brothers, and pile clothes over their bodies like that? They'd been rotting a while. We reminded him. We emphasized the clothes piled right on top. He swore to us he had absolutely no ugly idea. I laid out our theory. The killer had to be family, or someone close, hiding the bodies under clothes because they couldn't stomach looking at what they had done. We asked if that made sense. He agreed, then chillingly reminded us that he was the only family they had left. I mean, besides those distant relatives out in Mobile, you guys don't have any other family living around here. No, that's all I've got. Just my family, just my mom and my brothers. Why would someone want to kill them? How should I know? I don't know why anyone would do this. You and I both know we could see right through Donald. He kept his cool, but the crime scene told us a different story. We found zero signs of forced entry or a robbery, nothing pointing to an outside intruder. Look, 70% of homicides involve an acquaintance. With the evidence right in front of us, there was really nobody else it could possibly be. Yet, my partner and I still didn't know the darkest truth about Donald. Did she regularly see a doctor or anything? Not that I know of. Yeah, I know who the family doctor is. Who's that Dr. Donald Blackman? Where's his office? You remember where the old Circuit City was? That little spot right across the street? Yeah, he's set up down in there somewhere. Seems like I went there a long time ago to drop someone off, but I don't remember exactly where it is. I think you walk in. It's on the right. You just walk straight in. It's the very last office on the right. That was so long ago. How does it make you feel to hear your family was killed? Makes me feel pretty awful. I mean, you really don't seem all that upset. I just have to control myself here. So, I've got to handle this. That's what I'm doing. I will deal with it all later. Okay, I'm just trying hard not to even look at it right now. Why? Because I have no idea what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'll do. I've got no family left. I don't know what I'm going to do. I was so close to my mother. My father left when I was a baby. She raised me alone. I was very close to my mother. All right. And I just cannot imagine not ever being able to see her again. Well, you won't. I mean, she is gone. I know. And you had nothing to do with that. No, Sir, I would never harm anyone in my own family. I love my mother and my brothers. I loved my dad like he was my real father. I mean, my actual dad. He really was my own father. I would never harm my family. Never. I never hurt my mother or my brothers. Did you get jealous because they lived there with your mom? And maybe you felt left out, living all by yourself over there. No, I've been over there for 15 years. I love my house. I love my place. Is that your house? You own it? No, I rent it. But I have been renting the place for 15 solid years. It's low rent. I mean, it's not real expensive. I take good care of it. Keep it painted and everything. I mean, on the inside, I do all the inside stuff. No, I wasn't jealous about that at all. I don't care at all. I want nothing to do with that house. I don't want anything to do with that house whatsoever. Why? Because my mom died right in there. Oh, okay. Look, that was my partner calling me. And he said they finally got inside the house. He told me how they were murdered. They were shot to death, gunned right down. Yeah, may God. Looks like your brother John was just sitting there watching TV. And someone shot him right while he was sitting in his chair. And then your mother was sitting right in her chair. Someone shot her while she was watching TV. Then dragged her back to her bedroom. Oh, may God. Stick with me here. I'm thinking you were probably still there when RT came home, walked in, and saw John right in there. And then you shot him in that exact bedroom where John had been watching TV. Me, yeah. I didn't kill my family. Whoever did it had to know him. Because your brother was just sitting right there in his chair when they shot him. Whoever pulled the trigger had to know him, because he clearly didn't think they were a threat. He was just sitting there minding his own business, watching TV. And so was your mother. But I didn't do it. Who else would they let inside and be completely comfortable having in their home? And then John gets, well, then RT gets home. And you're probably still standing right there waiting on him. No, Sir, I didn't kill my family. I did not murder my family. I love my family. I love my mother so very much. Let's unpack this case together. I would never harm my family. As War claimed he knew absolutely nothing about it, only that we were coming at him hard that morning. I went over there, and now you tell me they have all been shot. He said, that is where we are at. He insisted. I didn't shoot anybody. I have never shot anyone. I told him that was hard to swallow, especially since his mother was his only family. We pointed out he hadn't shown a single ounce of emotion, even knowing his entire family was dead. We pressed him hard. It is like you rehearsed this. You've had days to prepare for this exact moment. Yes, Sir, he stammered back to us. I will show plenty of emotion when the time is right. He had prepped for days, but Donald missed one huge detail: emotion. If he truly had nothing to do with these murders, sitting with us should have been the very first time he heard his entire family was brutally slaughtered. For normal folks, that news brings instant shock, total confusion, and deep grief. Any visible reaction at all. Not Donald. As investigators, You and I always watch for that initial shock. Most people break down. When a suspect stays ice cold, it tells us they already knew the bodies were there. I asked him, why cover them up with so many white clothes on top of the bodies? I have no idea, he repeated, just shaking his head. I pushed back. It makes zero sense for a total stranger to break in, murder them like that, and bury them under all that stuff. No sense at all. Well, he deflected. It makes no sense for me to go in and do that either. You know why? I told him. You knew them. He snapped back. Of course I loved them. That is my family. Exactly, my partner said. And you couldn't stomach looking at them after killing them. So you covered them up. The real question for us is, why wipe them out? I have zero reason to kill my family, he yelled. I have visited them for years. Why murder my mother? Why kill my brother or my family, he asked. Why wouldn't you? I shot right back. Because I am not crazy, he stammered. I asked if he took meds. No medication at all. A's war. Nothing at all, he added. I leaned in close. So why would anyone target your family? I am not that close, he claimed. I do not know what was going on in their lives. He kept talking. I would go see Mom. We would sit and chit-chat about things. Just normal everyday stuff. Who did what? Is everything all right? Then we would watch the news. I would go outside, play with a dog, come back in, fix dinner, eat together, do the dishes, he said, detailing his routine. Even helped put away the clothes. Me and John would do the laundry together, and I would help pack it away. Then I would usually just head home, get ready for work the next day. I always work on Tuesdays. He insisted. Stick with me. This is where we cut him off. We have already talked to the neighbors over there. I said, that neighborhood is one way in, one way out. Yes, he agreed. Nobody saw strange cars. We told him, nobody saw anyone near your family's house since Monday. We had him boxed in. We reminded him. Neighbors said your brother went out to the mailbox. John goes out to the mailbox and gets the mail every single day. He nervously agreed. He always gets the mail. He claimed, haven't seen him since Monday. I fired back. Who got the mail Tuesday? Wasn't me? What time does the mail usually arrive on Tuesdays? Usually pretty late. He mumbled. Late in the afternoon. He confirmed. So, I pressed. You were there at 1 o'clock on Tuesday? Yeah. Got there right around 1. He nodded, locking himself in, and I left around 5:30 or 5:45. I laid the trap right there for him. So John usually gets the mail, but you showed up early that day. He never made it to the mailbox that day. That tells us you probably killed him. I didn't kill my brother, he panicked. I don't know about the mail. I had absolutely nothing to do with any of this. I'm telling you, I'm completely innocent. I didn't kill my mother, and I sure as hell wouldn't murder my own brothers either. I floated a theory. Did your brother kill your mother? And then you killed him? No, he cried out. I don't know nothing about this. This is the absolute first time I'm hearing any of this stuff. Dead and shot? I asked. Yeah, I know nothing about it. He muttered. I leaned forward. You seriously expect me to believe you just found 3 dead bodies in your house? Yes. I snapped. You walked in here. You were the very last person to see them alive. You stroll in here, denying you killed them. I continued. You sit there, even after we told you your own mother was brutally gunned down. She was dragged right into her bedroom, and you're going to sit across from us showing absolutely no emotion. I have emotion. No, you don't, I replied. Yes, I do. I pressed harder. We know you slaughtered your family. No, I didn't. Why would I? He asked. I didn't kill them. Yes, you did. No, I didn't. I stared him down. How can you show zero remorse for what happened to them? I don't know anything else. But right now, I feel like you two are accusing me of something. My partner chimed in. We are accusing you. We think you did it. He scoffed. I didn't do it. Why on earth would I kill my own flesh and blood? To get some cash? Who knows, he fired back. If I needed money, my mom would have gladly given me anything. If I ever needed cash, I would have just asked her for it. I crossed my arms, and she'd have just handed it over. She sure would have. Today, you and I are going to unpack our direct confrontation strategy. We applied intense pressure, openly accusing Donald, leaving no room for denial. We stated outright that we believed Donald was entirely responsible. This forced Donald into a tight psychological corner. He had to either defend himself or finally break under our intense pressure. We use this approach to provoke massive stress. It disrupts rehearsed lies and triggers verbal slip-ups that quickly reveal hidden inconsistencies or deep guilt. But we knew it was only a matter of time before Donald handed us a tiny detail that would change the entire homicide case. "Do you smoke?" He nodded. "Yes." "What cigarettes do you smoke?" He shrugged. 305s. 305s. "Yeah." "Are those the ones in the purple packs?" He nodded. "Yep. Got one right here." "All right." This single answer became our key piece of evidence later, and Donald didn't have a clue. You and I know this is exactly why suspects need lawyers. Talking your way out is usually how you talk your way right into a cell. "Let me ask you this," I continued. "What do you do with those cigarettes when you're finally finished with them?" "Throw them away." Inside, he nodded. "Yeah, okay." He added, "Well, if I'm outside, I put them in the outside trash can. Like the big one you pushed to the road, yeah. They have 2 of them sitting out there. I just throw it into whichever one I walk past." He explained. He kept talking. "That's what I always do outside. Sometimes I'll toss one into the yard, but that really isn't too often. Most of the time, I put them right in there. And whenever I'm inside the house, I just throw them straight into the kitchen trash." He told us. I asked, "Okay, when does their trash usually run?" "Donald, I think it runs the exact same day mine does. Probably one day. I'm just sitting here trying to think about it." He stammered. "You know, I'm not even entirely sure what day, because I don't always put mine out. I don't put it out unless it's full. So, I'm not sure." He muttered. He looked down. "I think it is I'm not even sure what day. I can't think straight right now, but I'm trying. I can't even remember what day the trash runs right at this exact moment. I think it usually runs on something like a Tuesday." He guessed. "Tuesdays." I confirmed. "Yeah, and the reason why is because, I go grab the trash can and bring it in before I leave for my mom's house." I pivoted. "About what time do you think you actually started cooking dinner?" "I got over there earlier than I normally do. I think I started around 2:30, and we probably ate dinner around 3:30. He replied. Right then, we watched Donald realize exactly how badly he had slipped up. After slaughtering his family, he stopped to smoke one single cigarette. Carrying a bloody fingerprint, he tossed it right into the trash at the crime scene, never thinking twice. Stick with us. From here, things only got much worse for him. I'd never hurt my brothers. I glared. Let me tell you something. I kept pushing. If I was sitting in that chair, and detectives were telling me that I butchered my mom and brothers, I'd absolutely tell them where to go. I'd be furious. I know much better. I snapped. I gestured at him. But you're just sitting over there? You haven't shed a tear, haven't yelled, haven't gotten angry, and shown zero emotion about any of this. And you expect us to believe you didn't butcher those people, he stared back. I sure do, because I really didn't do it. Well, we don't, and I'm not going to attack a sheriff's deputy just because my mother was killed, he muttered. We sat across from him, told him straight. We didn't know his family until we caught this homicide case. Exactly. And now my partner and I had to sit in that room, figuring out who slaughtered his mother and brothers. He told us to solve it fast. We made him a firm promise. Right then, we were going to find out. We looked him dead in the eye. If he pulled the trigger, we'd uncover it, and we'd lock him away. He just shook his head, swearing he'd never hurt his family for anything in the world. We demanded a lie detector test. He didn't hesitate, so we told him to take it right then. He agreed. My partner stepped out of the interrogation room to track down a polygraph examiner for the suspect. When that polygraph came back completely inconclusive, we had no choice but to send Donald home, but we dragged him back into the station after searching his place. We found some incredibly bizarre things hidden inside, at his own house. Our crime scene guys told us what they saw, and it definitely caught our attention. We brought up the Ouija board and the occult items scattered around his room. He confessed to keeping the Ouija board, even mentioned having a personal prayer room. We straight up asked if he was a Wiccan. He looked right at us and proudly said yes. Told us he'd been practicing as a Wiccan for about 3 solid years. We asked him to explain it. He called it a nature-based pagan religion. We weren't familiar with this occult belief, so we pushed for details. He told us they primarily celebrate different seasonal shifts and earth changes. He described observing distinct pagan holidays, things like the autumn and spring equinoxes, and specific rituals like that. We asked about its ancient roots. We pressed him on the details. Did these rituals involve specific moon phases at all? He nodded, confirming that it heavily relied on tracking the different moon phases. He mentioned certain times when they hold Sabbaths. Naturally, we asked him what a Sabbath actually was. He described it as a worship ceremony. We dug deeper, asking what exactly those gatherings entailed. Mostly prayers. He told us they supposedly stand in circles, thanking their god and goddess. He claimed the rituals were simply about asking for safety and basic daily provision. You and I are unpacking this together. Donald was revealing a hidden identity, explaining the dark rituals happening inside his strange belief system. And here is the chilling part about that murder night. There was an actual blue moon. It made my partner and I wonder, was this slaughter a ritualistic sacrifice? He told us his mother had 20 years in retirement, claimed that was her only source of financial income. We pivoted to the finances. We grilled him hard on how often she bought stuff from QVC. He said she was obsessed with the home shopping network. She bought new items almost every single time he visited her. We pushed for an exact dollar amount. How much was she spending every month? He played dumb, saying he had absolutely no idea. We kept asking what he suspected. He told us a story about her childhood. Claimed she once said that as a little girl, she never owned any decent clothes at all. She apparently swore to him that she was finally going to buy every single piece of clothing she ever wanted. He used that excuse to explain the hoard. Said that's why we found garments hanging up all over her entire house during our search. We asked if they choked the hallways. He confirmed they were hanging everywhere, blocking the doorways. We circled back to the occult angle. We demanded to know if those Wiccan ceremonies ever involved any kind of blood sacrifices. He completely denied it. Swore Wicca doesn't do any sacrifices. He recited their rule, harm none. Do as you please. Claimed that was the peaceful foundation of his entire pagan religion. We weren't buying it easily. We pressed him on what really happened during those seasonal worship services he mentioned, or his precious Esbot rituals. He swore it was purely ceremonial. Kept insisting that nobody killed or harmed a single thing in those specific circles. My partner had done some research. He called the suspect out on mapping the 4 directional points north, east, south, and west. Those are known as the 4 cardinal points. What do you make of this? He claimed they only summoned elements for assistance and prayed to their gods. Nothing more. Earth, air, fire, water. Pay attention here. We did our research on these dark elements before pulling you into this room. And with these twisted rituals, especially around this specific time of year, usually right in June, July, or August, whenever 2 full moons align, these groups will often perform some kind of blood sacrifice. Yeah, well, I don't offer sacrifices. Never have. They just described that specific lunar event as a blue moon. It is a blue moon. Right. Yeah. And it's extremely rare. A very unusual time of year. When was the exact last time it happened? Oh, I don't know. 3 years ago. Maybe it honestly wasn't that long ago. We certainly didn't hear about it on the radio, but we couldn't give you an exact date either. It's pretty fascinating what they actually do, though. They drain the victim's blood and completely crush their skull. Look, I don't know anything about that. Wrap them up just to keep the body warm. I'm telling you, I wouldn't know anything. I've never done a sacrifice. I wouldn't even hurt a chicken. I wouldn't hurt a single thing. I'd never hurt an animal. You know what's ironic? That's exactly how your family was just slaughtered. That is exactly how my own family died. Right. Because they were shot in the head. Correct. No. How did they die? We just explained this. Tell us again. They were what? Why don't you just confess what you did to him? I didn't hurt my family. Yes, you did. We aren't playing this game again. You absolutely did it. Okay. No. Sir, we went over to that house. We processed everything. You went in and murdered your mother. Then your brother. You waited for RT to get home. And you slaughtered him. Okay. Yes. Sir. You killed every one of them the exact same way. Stabbing them repeatedly. Oh my God. I thought you guys said they were shot in the head. We did say that last time. I don't do animal sacrifices. And I definitely didn't sacrifice my family. If you think Wicca is involved here, you're crazy. I would never, ever hurt a living creature. Never. I absolutely wouldn't. Have you been in your right mind lately? Yeah. I've been perfectly fine in my head. As far as I know, I have. I'm doing my exact same routine. I haven't changed a single thing. Right. So, isn't it a massive coincidence? You practice Wicca, and your family died just like a Wiccan sacrifice. I don't know a damn thing about Wiccan sacrifices. I don't know anything about any of that. If you know about the blue moon and all those rituals, you absolutely do. Look, I know what a blue moon is. 2 full moons. But they talk about it all over the radio. We never hear that on the radio. We listen all day. Have you ever actually heard that specific broadcast? I just saw it online. That's the only reason I know. No, it's definitely been playing on the radio. The only thing I listen to are talk radio shows. That's basically it. And I only ever tune in while I'm sitting there at work. Stick with us. Something was incredibly twisted about this scene, and we weren't about to let him walk. We were ready to hit him with the undeniable facts. No way. Why would I ever be mad at my own mother? Well, you'd have to be absolutely enraged to bash her head in and cut her. Stabbed her. Bashed her head in. Yeah. Wait. I thought you just told me they stabbed her. We did. And they struck her head too. Right. Look. I swear I know nothing about this crime. Okay. Let me ask you this. What could a murderer possibly gain here? Why specifically single out your mother and your 2 brothers? For what reason? See what I'm getting at? Why would some stranger break into that exact family home and just slaughter everybody inside for absolutely no reason at all? I honestly have no clue why anyone would ever do that. Let's step into the interrogation room together. My partner and I sat down. We had never even met Donald before. We told him straight up. His behavior was completely bizarre for a guy whose entire family had just been wiped out. He showed absolutely zero emotion, not a single tear. We needed to know exactly what he was hiding. He was completely matter of fact. Maybe that was just his personality. But my partner and I found it incredibly suspicious from the start. So, we pressed. We reminded him about digital tracking, then circled back. He claimed he went over to his mom's house to cook dinner. I asked what time he arrived. He claimed 1 o'clock. Then he shifted, said 1:30, but started cooking around 2:30. We asked if they ate together. He said no, claiming his mom always ate right in her chair. When my partner asked where he ate, he said he sat at the table with John. He gave specific details. He said he sat right between the breakfast bar and the kitchen table. We asked about cleaning up the kitchen. He insisted they always washed up right after they finished eating. He claimed they put all their dirty dishes straight into the dishwasher right away. When I asked what time he finally left, he stalled. He said he stuck around the house for a little while. He guessed he left the house around 5:30 or 6. He brought up the television on his own, claiming he had just turned it on before walking out the door. He claimed he wasn't really paying attention, but specifically remembered Who Wants to Be a Millionaire was playing. We steered him back to the timeline. leaving around 5:30 or 6. He just repeated his weak excuse. I pushed him on his exact route. Did he go straight home? Or did he head somewhere else first? Maybe he stopped at a friend's house. He swore up and down that he went straight back to his own place. He claimed he always goes straight home. We asked if he stayed there for the rest of the night. He said yes, claiming he went home, checked the mailbox, and walked his dog Xena around the neighborhood. He quickly added that he took her for a couple of evening walks. We pivoted. I asked if he had his cell phone. Yes, he did. We reminded him that law enforcement can easily track down any cell phone's exact physical location. I leaned in and asked him directly, "When we pull your phone data, what exactly are we going to find?" He got defensive. He said we'd find whatever he did, but nervously claimed there was absolutely nothing on his device. He insisted the only thing he used it for was calling his son that night. We told him we just wanted the truth before crossing the point of no return. We gave him one final opportunity to confess and explain what happened. We asked if something went wrong. Nothing. He just repeated that he loved his mother. We warned him that his phone's GPS coordinates would show us exactly where he was standing. We knew he was actually still at his mom's house, way past 7. The victim, Tia, was found wearing the exact same clothes from his shift at work that Tuesday night. RT clocked out of work at exactly 6:38. We know it takes him about 20 to 30 minutes to drive home. That puts the victim walking into the house right around 7 or 7:15, and the cell data would absolutely prove Donald was still there. You and I can see exactly where this is going, and so did he. He played dumb, but my partner and I knew. We laid it out. No random maniac was just going to walk right up to that house out of nowhere. And for what reason? Why would a stranger stay behind to clean up the scene? We hammered him on touch DNA. His timeline was completely crumbling against the heavy forensic proof my partner and I had gathered. Plus, we dug into their background. His family was incredibly well loved and deeply respected across the entire neighborhood. This wasn't a random hit. You and I know the only suspect who fit the profile was the surviving family member right before us. He lied, swearing he'd never heard her. We slid a document across the table. It was a seized property receipt for his 1989 white Lincoln Town car. He panicked, demanding to know why we took his car. We told him it was being seized so we could process it for evidence. He tried to play it cool, saying that was fine. We just made him sign the official vehicle seizure form. Yeah, towed straight from your house. Well, when exactly will I get it back? Whenever my partner and I finish searching it. But man, that is the only car I own. I've driven that car for 10 years. Just sign right there on the line. We'll hand you a copy. Why couldn't you guys just search it where it was parked? Because our crime scene techs need to process it. Here is your copy now. Okay. Yes. Sir, give us 1 second. We'll be right back. One last thing. Donald, raise your right hand for us. You swear the statement you made here is the total truth and nothing but the truth? Yes. Sir, I do. All right then. You and I know that was Donald's fatal mistake. Swearing on it gave my partner and me a locked-in story we could completely tear apart. Once our crime scene evidence started piling up, including his DNA and a bloody fingerprint on a cigarette, he was trapped. My partner and I charged him with triple homicide, securing a life sentence without parole. My partner and I believe his sick motive was tied to a planned act, fueled by his dark obsession with Wicca and some twisted blue moon ritual. This case reminds us that evil doesn't always look loud or obvious. Sometimes it sits quietly, pretending to be normal. A man who shared meals, told stories, and claimed love for his family was hiding something far darker beneath the surface. What makes this tragedy so chilling is not just the violence, but the deception, the ability to deny, deflect, and remain emotionless in the face of unimaginable loss. The lesson here is powerful truth cannot be buried, no matter how carefully it's hidden. Lies may hold for a moment, but evidence, patterns, and human behavior always reveal cracks. Justice may take time, but it does not forget. It also speaks to the importance of emotional honesty and human connection. When someone loses everything and shows no real reaction, it forces us to question what's truly happening inside. Empathy, accountability, and transparency are what keep us human, and when those disappear, danger often follows. Most importantly, this story warns us to pay attention to what feels off. Sometimes, it's not what people say, it's what they don't feel, don't show, or can't fake. Trust your instincts, because in a world where appearances can deceive, awareness can save lives.